Hello, everyone, and welcome to the post-regionals edition of the Top Cut. I'm your host, Crims, and with me are all three of the other members of the Top Cut: Michael Pramawat, Drew Woo Holton, and Kyle Pukasukovic. Yeah, it's been a little while since all. Yeah, I was gonna say it's been a little while since all four of us have been on it. It's pretty cool. Almost busy. Yeah, some of us are busy, but either way, we just had regionals, our second leg of regionals. Of the year, of the season, and our very own Kyle Pukasukovic ended up winning Wisconsin Regionals. So congratulations to him. Round of applause. Yeah. Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
All right, my man. How'd you do it?
I got lucky.
So lucky.
Well, we all saw that, but I mean, was there a? I'm gonna tell you right now, man. That was ridiculous. If for those of you who didn't watch the stream, it was all streamed. You got to witness Kyle in action on twitch.tv/thetopcut.
You know the stream you're on right now?
Yeah, this one. and man, it was cool. It was pretty crazy. I remember was it top 4 that you were behind? It looked like it was top 4. I know in the finals it was also really difficult and it looked like you were about to lose. But top 4 was just, I couldn't believe it. I honestly thought you were dead. I was like, oh man, here we go. Gotta pay a for a hotel this year. But Kyle still pulled it off out of nowhere, and I mean, just the fact that I got to witness it was really cool. One of my proudest moments for the Top Cut, and for you, obviously. And it was awesome. I mean, there's obviously you got lucky, but I mean, give us a little bit more information on how you got to be the champion at regionals.
I mean, going into the event, I actually didn't know what I was going to play. I was extremely close to playing CMT with Drew's favorite boy, Verizian. Gonna leaf wallop some people all day. And then at the last second I decided I probably haven't tested this deck enough, so I switched right back to Zekrom Electric right at the last second. Even though I thought the field would be a ton of Terrakion decks and CMT, and it actually did turn out to be that. There wasn't much Zekrom Electric in the field, even though it had dominated throughout state, so I was actually surprised. But started off 6-0, and then I lost to my guy Vince Blasco, old school player, and he whooped me with the Sacred Sword Verizian on stream, so that was a little embarrassing, but he beat me in a pretty good game. And then I lost my last round as well, so I ended up going 6-2. I lost to Adam Keebler in round 8 to another CMT. So, top 32, I actually had no idea who I was facing. Someone named Alvin Yusuf, and like I literally asked everybody I knew, and they were like, "Nope, never heard of that guy." So I was like, "Oh, I don't know what I'm playing against." So I show up the next day for top 32, and I was trying to find out about him, talking to him a little bit before the game, and I was like, "So how long have you been playing?" All that good stuff. And he's like, "This is my second day playing. I started yesterday." I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, this is my first tournament." So he didn't really know what was going on. He was using Durant, so I'm sure he just blindly devoured a lot of people and got into top 32. And during the match, he asked me various things like, what does paralysis mean? And then after I won the first game, he started scooping up his cards and he was packing up and he almost walked away. And I was like, whoa, 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 it's best 2 out of 3. And he's like, wait, huh? Oh. And then he realized he didn't lose yet. And I was like, yeah, and you lost the first game, so you get to choose who goes first. And he's like, really? And I was like, oh, I kind of feel bad because this was actually streamed. And I ended up beating him in 2 games. Because, I mean, it was his first time playing. So I won that match, and then top 16 I faced CMT that I faced in round 6, I want to say. His name was Mitchell. And he pretty much destroyed me the first game. I didn't draw a supporter the whole game. Game 2 was pretty similar, except he didn't draw a supporter either. So my Thunderous actually just took 3 prizes in a row and he scooped. So really 2 horrible games. And the third game, again, I didn't draw a supporter forever. And until one turn, I finally drew a Juniper, I think, and I was already down 2 or 3 prizes. And I got to a point where he was at 5 prizes, I was at 5 prizes, he was at 2. And I figured, I mean, what can I do besides N and pray? And that's what I did. I played an N, captured out his Mewtwo, and knocked it out with my Mewtwo. And then I had to prepare the next turn because he had a Regigigas EX with 4 energy on it already. So I had him to 2. I think he actually played an Oak's New Theory, and he whiffed. So I survived that turn. He attacked me with Regigigas, and then I play another N, put him back to 2 cards, and I actually draw a Junk Arm to get my 30 Electric into play. I Dynamoed her 3 times to a bench Mewtwo and put a double colorless on it, and I X-Ball his Regigigas. It has an Eviolite on it, so I needed 6 energy on my Mewtwo, and then 4 on his active to hit it for 180. I knocked it out, and he was just like shaking his head, like, that's so gross, that should never happen. Regigigas shouldn't get knocked out in 1 hit. And he sends up his Celebi. I mean, I can still lose. I have 1 prize left. I have a Mewtwo with a ton of energy. So if he just gets a Mewtwo and powers it up, I still lose. And he draws, and I'm hoping he doesn't draw anything, and he plays a Junk Arm, and my heart kind of sinks a little, because he's got a Pokegear in there. I later found out his hand was actually perfect. It was an energy retrieval, so he could get 2 grass back, and then Junk Arm, discard the 2 grass to get a Dual Ball, and his 3rd card was a double colorless. So if he would have played it out like that, if he flips 1 heads, he just wins the game. He grabs a Mewtwo, gets a double colorless, and I lose. But he decided to Junk Arm, go for Pokegear. He looks at his top 7, and he just throws him down. And he's just like, I can't believe that just happened. Didn't get a supporter. He still had like 3 or 4 left in his deck. So it was like really defying the odds. It was absurd. And he's just like, I can't believe it, but you win, man. It's like, what? And everybody around me was like, what? He won? And I was like, yeah, I guess. So I survived 1 miracle there, and then ended up facing Vince Blasco again in top 8, grudge match, and he really didn't draw anything either game. They were really sad games, to be honest. First game, he just needed like a double colorless, and he never drew one the entire game, and I just kind of rolled him over. Second game was even more embarrassing. It was funny because in the finals of Illinois States where I played against Yoshi, that last game where he just kept sending up Smeargle and portraiting my hand, and I just kept showing I had absolutely nothing. That exact same thing happened game 2 against Vince, and Yoshi was sitting right by him. And every turn Vince would send up the Smeargle and portrait my hand, and he would see nothing. And Vince is just like, can't believe this. He's like, you always win games like these. I don't understand it. And then Yoshi's sitting over by him. He's like, preaching to the choir, buddy. He's like, no comments from the peanut gallery over here. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know how to explain it either. Then we eventually both drew supporters, but his deck crapped out eventually. And I beat him somehow. And then I faced Adam Keebler again. I got another rematch in top 4. He destroyed me the first game. I never drew a supporter. Second game went a little better for me. I think I was in control for most of it because I went first. And I always kind of got the feeling I was going to win. I got a Mewtwo at the end and took the last 2 prizes. And then the third game was the dreadful lone Dynamo start, where I flip over the 30 hit point Dynamo. He flips over Mewtwo, and I'm just like, well, it was a good run. I just kind of put my hand down and cross my arms and wait for the inevitable loss. And he plays his hand down, plays like Pokegear, grabs an Oak's New Theory, plays another Pokegear, grabs an Oak's New Theory, Junk Arms for Pokegear. He's trying to get a Juniper, and he still can't get a Juniper after like 3 Pokegears. So he plays an Oak's New Theory, looks at his 6 cards in disgust, just attaches a grass and says go. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. So I survived somehow. And we got into a wacky game where he was in control for most of it, but he was only ahead one prize, so I kept catching out like Selby's and getting cheap knockouts, and eventually he was at one prize to my 2. He ends me down to 2 cards, and I need to draw a Mewtwo and an energy to knock out his Mewtwo and win the game. And I just kind of put my 2 cards face down, send up a Pokemon, and I look, and there's an Oak's New Theory there. So I'm like, alright, this is pretty nice. And then I draw a Dual Ball, and I flip 1 heads, I get a Mewtwo. Oak's New Theory, get the energy, and somehow win another stupid game that I should have lost. So that's just kind of the theme of what happened. I play stupid games where I should lose, and then somehow I get lucky and win. That's kind of the theme of the weekend. And then in the finals, pretty much the same thing happened, where my opponent played an Oak's New Theory and just needed to get an energy to knock out my Dynamo, and he would have been in a good spot to win. And he didn't draw an energy, so I won on time. And that is my long story of regionals.
Wait. You're actually done?
Yeah. I'm gonna cut this one sort of short.
Yeah, this is the short version of the story, just like Pram's last week. Yeah, you guys are good storytellers, if anything. Alright, so long story short, all of this was on stream for the most part, and I woke up right after the top 16 match, which was apparently your biggest comeback. Donk back, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, I mean, miracles had to happen, but they happened, and you are the Wisconsin Regional Champion. However, we also had another member of the Top Cup play at Regionals last week.
That would be
What's up,
me.
Pram?
What's up, son? So let's see. I'll try to give a little shorter version. I'll just give highlights. Okay, so I ended up playing Zekrom Electric again. I was kind of fiddling around with the Vanilla Vileplume for a little bit, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it. So basically, it was weird because Philly Regionals had a lot of paralysis decks, the Vileplume like Lilligant and Vileplume Vanillix variants. So I was kind of like worried about that. So I ended up playing a Unknown Cure and 1 Seeker in my deck. So basically, that's pretty much you're playing a 59 card deck unless you run into Vanillix or Lilligant, and then you turn into the brutal 60 card deck. So round 1, I beat a Terrakion, and then round 2, I go up against Mew Vanillux Vileplume, and I'm just like, the stars have aligned. I can't believe, oh my god, I get to use Unknown Cure this game. So basically,
probably made that guy sick too.
He was shocked. Basically, he gets into a position where he thinks he's about to win the game. We're both at like, I think 3 I think I'm at like 3, he's at 4. And I finally draw enough energy to attack with something. Because I was having energy problems. I had the Cure and the Seeker in my hand, but I didn't have any real way to attack with anything. So I finally draw into energy, and then I drop the Cure, I play the Seeker, pick up Cure, and I go down to 2 prizes, and he's just going, oh no.
I'd have asked for a deck check.
Like, it was kind of funny. At first, it took him like a couple seconds to register what just happened. Why was my Pokemon suddenly not paralyzed? And then his eyes blew up to a degree that I can't even mimic. And yeah, so I ended up pulling out that game thanks to Unknown Cure and Seeker. Ended up going 7-1. We had 8 rounds. Had like 240 something people at the tournament. Almost 9 rounds. Almost enough for 9 rounds, but not quite. My one loss, let's see. I drew 2 supporters that game against CMT, and he just kind of rolled on me. So that was unfortunate. And then we did top 32, and I was up against another CMT deck. Game 1, he goes Mewtwo, but I can't draw any dual balls, so I can't find my own Mewtwo. So basically, when he went Mewtwo, I just had no response.
That doesn't happen to you.
Yeah, I was actually kind of upset about that. And then game 2, we played a somewhat normal game. I mean, I set up pretty well. He didn't set up that much, and so I ended up winning that one. And then going into game 3, yeah, he gets to go first because I won game 2. I start with Unknown Cure, and he starts with Tornadus, so I'm thinking, whew, there's a good chance I'm safe this turn from not dying turn 1. And that wasn't the case, because after 2 Junipers later in 1 turn, and a double switch with a Sky Arrow and 3 energies, and a Celebi, I get T1 Hurricaned out of the game. So that's
So that was in top 32?
Yep, that's my top 32 story.
Yeah, so for those of you who also fell asleep like I did, Pram got to top 32 and did not make it past the game, unfortunately.
Nope.
Yeah, I mean, even Pram can't be. I'm sorry?
Cure got Hurricane.
Yeah.
I mean,
yes, that's not a verbal typo. He really had an unknown cure.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
if I was playing at any other regionals, I would have been a shaman. But, because...
You decided to run Unknown Cure, yes.
Hey, tell Philly to stop scaring me like that.
How big of a percentage of the field do you think actually played that Vanillix deck and I mean that deck
Some type of
or whatever
paralysis
deck?
version?
Yeah.
Maybe 15 to 20%.
Which is a very high percentage compared to, I'm assuming, the rest of the world. So, do you feel like you made the right play with the unknown cure?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there's a bunch of them at 5-0, and then they finally started flipping quad tails.
All of them at the same time.
Well, like, one would just drop down in round 5, one would drop down in round 6. Stuff like that.
Okay. Well, yeah. Unfortunately, myself and Drew did not make it to regionals this last weekend, so that's it for the stories of regionals. Welcome back, Drew.
Yeah. The worst internet ever.
It's alright, it happens.
Ever.
Yeah. So that's it for that story. Obviously, there's Battle Roads. Do you guys plan on attending Battle Roads?
Maybe if they're somewhat close. I don't think I need points anymore. I didn't get
You're
it.
above 50, aren't you?
No, I didn't
Or-
get any
yeah.
from regionals because I had to go top 16.
Oh, okay.
But just the way the points are looking now, like 40th is like 42 points.
Okay.
So we'll see. I think I'm probably safe. I'll probably end up getting another point. Maybe I'll go to a battle road if I can get like a point or two. I should be good to go.
Are you at 49 or 48?
49.
49.
I mean, I would say I was looking at the Nationals ticker. I don't think 128 gets points. So.
It doesn't?
No.
So it's top 64 and above?
Yeah, I think so. And if that's the case, then I probably will not be getting points off Nationals, as I have a history of never making it past the first round of Top Cut. I'll Top Cut every year, so but I just won't get past that first round.
Yeah, Nationals is a different beast, obviously. Kyle is historically really good at Nationals. Cramelot's historically really good at Worlds, and they both historically suck at the other. So that's just the way it works. Can't get lucky at everything. Can't get unlucky at everything either, obviously.
Drew does moderately well at both.
Gone far both. So, whatever. Suck it.
But yeah, so Battle Roads are going to be coming up. Drew, you nodded your head. Are you going to be going to some Battle Roads?
Yeah, I have to play my way back into shape, so I'll probably hit up a couple.
Well, are you guys going to play your way back into shape at the pre-releases? A weekend and a half.
Maybe. Doubtful.
I'm
What
going
about
to
you,
1.
Graham?
I think I'm gonna go to 1, but just kind of to go.
How far are you guys' pre-releases from here? By the way.
2 minutes away.
Mine's about 20 minutes.
I hate here.
Probably got one about 10 minutes away.
Okay. I was just wondering if you guys had to drive far to go to these, and if so, if you guys still went to them. I mean, obviously I'm not going to make it to a pre-release, but we already know my story. No need to keep talking about that. Yeah, can you please uncap Drew?
Oh.
Yeah.
That cat is scaring me, man. That's a troll cat.
Well, like, stop disconnecting, man.
Oh.
Sorry.
It's okay. Which
Yeah.
cat is that again? Rambo or Adrian?
Oh, that's Rambo.
Yeah, Rambo.
Get him.
Rambo has a, like, I don't even care face. Look at it.
Yeah, Nationals is obviously 2 months away. Jeez, that's quick. That is really quick. It's July, first week of July, right?
It's end of June.
Is it the end of June this time? Last year it was July 4th. July 5th.
Yeah, it was July.
Keep talking, I'll find out.
All right.
Yeah, because Canada was like end of June, and then it was July.
Okay. Yeah. Either way, we're a couple months away. A couple months in a week. Couple months, give or take. So yeah, the road to Nationals obviously begins with the pre-release. The pre-release is going to be going on not this weekend but next, and after that we're going to have a couple weeks
June
about
29th to July 1st.
Oh, okay. So there we go. 2 months away. That's crazy, man. It is sneaking up on us quick. I haven't even bought my plane ticket. I better get on that. By that I mean please remind me after the show. Otherwise I'll forget. Let's see. So you guys are gonna be going to the pre-releases. What cards are you guys most looking forward to out of the pre-release? Obviously, and actually before I begin that, please ask us your viewer questions, and we'll get to them after we talk about pre-releases. There wasn't too much to talk about regionals because honestly they're over, and people no longer have to worry about this format anymore, and that's big. The fact that this format's done and we can now take a little breather, and that's our link. So if you guys have any questions, just ask away, and we'll get to them. Hopefully you guys have some good ones. We will cover a little bit of the next set, Dark Explorers. Yeah, see. and yeah, what cards you might want to be looking out for. Obviously, the first card that comes to my mind instead of the Darkrai is that trainer that gets the darkness energies from the discard pile. I think that's probably going to be the
Dark Patch.
Dark Patch. Yeah. I think that's probably, at least in my opinion, going to be the main card unless the Ultra Ball comes out with it.
I think Ultra Ball comes out too.
Yep.
Ultra Ball. Yeah, those are going to be the main two cards that I would be looking out for. I know I'm going to be ordering a playset of both as soon as I can. What about you guys? What cards are you guys most on the lookout for, and what cards do you guys expect to shake up this Battle Road and National season?
Darkrai, clearly. I think, and Tornadus EX is a huge one. If you think about it, it can just knock out anything for a DCE. If you play like Sky Arrow down, so you can just max out Sky Arrow, max out DCE, and just go, yep. If you start with one basic, you're dead. Ha ha ha. I'm Tornadus. Yeah.
I agree.
I think Dark Pokemon in
ridiculous.
general are pretty good, though.
What about you, Kyle?
Yeah, I mean, Tornadus, Darkrai, and Raikou EX seem like the three big cards. I think people are really hyping up Raikou a lot. Just works with, works with Electric so well. You get to snipe anywhere for 100. The glaring weakness of most of these new cards is that they're weak to Terrakion, so there's got to be some balance here. The other card I like is Zoroark. I don't know how strong it's going to be, but just being able to Ascension turn 1 with Zorua right into Zoroark, so you can evolve turn 1, and then turn 2 you can start beating people down. It does 20 for each Dark Pokemon you have in play. So for a non-EX attacker, that's pretty big. You can start doing
is that for 2 Darks?
2 colorless.
2 colorless. Wow, for double colorless.
Yeah.
So it can go up to 120 for double colorless.
Yeah,
Relatively easily too.
What's it?
Relatively easily too.
Yeah. You just gotta fill your bench with Dark Pokemon. And then it's got the Dark Claw tool, which adds 20 damage to your Dark Pokemon's attacks. So you can hit for 140. And you can Dark Patch if you want. Power up more of your Dark Pokemon. So I think the message is pretty clear from this set. We want you to use Dark Pokemon.
Well,
Yeah.
what's
Wow.
the set name too?
No. I mean, if you really think about it, the Dark Patch combined with that the plus 20 damage, that's 140. You start knocking out Terrakions, and if you include a couple Tornado CX or one Tornado CX and a normal Tornadus or something along those lines, you're really going to be in solid shape against pretty much, I'm going to assume, the majority of the field. Like that alone, I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to make a very basic Dark Pokemon deck list, and all of a sudden you have a contender. I don't know how I feel about that, but I mean, either way, I like the fact that they're shifting the format out of Mewtwo's hands. I think obviously Mewtwo's not going to be non-existent by any means, but it's no longer going to be, hey, look, it's a Mewtwo race every game. So with Drew's camera messing around and trolling me.
I'm around.
All right, good. Drew, what are your thoughts on Dark Explorers? What are you looking for?
I think they named most of them, but I kind of like the new Sableye that attack for a Dark gets 2 trainers. That could be pretty nuts, and it's pretty situational, but it seems like it would find its way into your Dark deck as maybe a one-of. And the only other thing is the new Zorua. I really like it. It's got Ascension. That's good. Nice solid evolution turn 1.
Yeah. That Zoroark deck, I mean, that's honestly, it catches my eye a lot. The Darkrai EX is obviously really good. Not taking anything away from that thing, but I think Zoroark is really a really good gem. Being able to deal for 140 on, at will is pretty ridiculous. Or double colorless from a non-EX, which is the most important part. Wow.
We also didn't give a shout out to our boy Heatmore. He's coming out.
No, that's for a good reason, man. Oh, by the way, real quick, I remember about 2 months ago, I told you guys that a person could literally have not played Pokemon and jump into a tournament and do relatively well at it. And you guys said it could. Kyle, do you want to take that back now?
I didn't say.
No, I don't. You can
think-
do that with anything. I mean,
I don't think we said you couldn't, but it was just like you're just not going to win anything with it, or a tournament with it. You'll eventually hit someone who knows what they're doing.
Yeah, top 32 is not that good.
Yeah, I mean, like, you don't see me like parading around that I like make top cut nationals. It's not that big of a deal.
All I'm saying is, absolutely, like the Durant deck is. It's easy to play, and that's what appeals to most newer players, and that's why, I mean, yeah, obviously Jason Blazinski will probably run that deck better than, he'll run that deck better than any of these other newer players by a long shot, and it won't even be close, but, I mean, you have to give credit to the deck for it being able to ease players into the game, and that's something that I don't think any deck has been able to do before. I mean, even Haymaker, which was really easy to play back in those days, was still...
let me tell you, I saw plenty of people, not going to name names, people who I wouldn't expect to be winning at tournaments, who would just show up with a Celebi Mewtwo deck and X-Ball and do nothing but use X-Ball the entire game and do well. And that means make top 32. So I think there is a deck just as simple as Durant. I think the Celebi Mewtwo deck, when you run just Celebi and Mewtwo, I think that's even simpler than Durant.
I think that deck
And
is
it's
silly.
just as powerful.
That deck is silly. Like, if anyone draws decently well and knows what they're doing, they'll win.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you have a small window to draw well against it. If you whiff, you're probably going to lose.
Like, I played one in round 8, and, like, it was just silly. The game was over in, like, 4 turns.
Yeah.
Like...
That's what it is. I saw people just win or lose in 4 turns, and they're just like, well, I don't really care. I mean, I probably didn't have a good shot at winning this tournament, but now maybe I do.
Like, it was just silly. Like, I think I just went, like, turn 1 charge, and he just went, like, Mewtwo. I was just like, oh, well, I guess he's just being really aggressive with his CMT deck, and then I eventually just came to the conclusion he just doesn't run Tornadus. And I was just like, whatever, I'll just counter your Mewtwo with Mewtwo. And then, because you put out the first Mewtwo, I just won. It's like, mind-boggling.
Like if you miss like 1 or 2 energy drops somewhere along the way, you can just get steamrolled by a deck. It's that powerful. You don't have a response to it right away. You can just lose still.
Okay. I mean, I'll give you the victory there. Absolutely. That deck is very easy to play, especially if you don't run any psychic energies. You run 1 psychic energy, you screw up that player for life. A newer player. But either way, yeah. I mean, the format is really easy to get into. But Durant is by far the easiest deck to play. I don't care what you say. Also tracking is very hard to play with. Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that one too. I think that one's a little more complicated than. So I'm just saying, man, it's not just Durant that can show up and win.
No, but it's the easiest by far. Alright.
I can agree on this, I guess.
Yeah, agree to disagree. Okay. So we're going to be getting into viewer questions pretty soon. But before we do, and before we go on break, I definitely want to take a moment to let you guys know about our Playmat contest. The Playmat submissions are going to be available. Well, I guess I should start from the beginning. We're actually going to be starting. We're going to start developing some. Not developing. Whatever. We're going to make some Playmats.
Producing.
Alright, we're going to make some Playmats.
Producing.
And first we need an actual design for them. So what we're doing is we're running a little contest for any of you guys who are actually good with either Photoshop or any type of art. We have the submission details on our website, so please check it out, topcut.net, topcut.net. And yeah, just submit a design. If whichever design ends up getting picked, we'll give you guys the actual playmat. And we'll give you guys a t-shirt from the top and really we're just looking to get some sort of product out there by nationals. That's our main goal. Be able to have people use the playmats. For national, be able for us to have the playmats out nationally.
You guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear Kyle. Alright, looks like the internet is dropping, so we'll just go on break now.